Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Swift Command Live broadcast of the WTRL Finals. I've got Anna Russell next to me. And Anna, we are out on the Downtown Dolphin course, and it is going to be, no, excuse me, not Downtown Dolphin. We're not Downtown Dolphin. We are, it's been a long day out here for Nathan, that's for sure. Yeah, Downtown Titans is what we're on. We are not on Crit City. We obviously had the knockouts, and I think I'm still reeling a little bit from the knockouts, Anna.
Yeah, that was pretty. It's been a full-on time for esports. So yeah, I'm excited though. It's the I'm just calling it finals week. I'm sure there's a more official term, but I like finals week. I was just in the Discord with one of the women's teams, and they're pretty excited for today's race and then the race in the weekend as well, which will be a good time. More of a sprinters run for the weekend, and today I'd say more for the puncher.
Yeah, I'd say as they're going to be taking on the climb here actually over on Titans Grove Reverse actually in just a moment. We're going to jump right down into the men's race, and the women are out on course as well. We'll get right on in with them for the Oceans. And this, Anna, can you just go over really quickly for us as we get down into this, just for those that may not be familiar with how the finals for WTRL are working?
Yeah, I hope I get this right. So what happens is this is what you'd call sort of the semi-finals. So this is where the top half of each group who has gone through the Zwift Racing League regular season comes in and races. They'll race against each other in what's called the Cup. Then we go through to the bottom half, we'll race together in the Plate. Then we have from this racing, the top halves of the Cup semi-finals will then go to the Regional Cup final. The bottom half of the Cup finals will go to the Regional Shield. Then we got the top halves of the Plate semi-finals will go to the Regional Plate. And then the bottom halves will go for the Regional Bowl. So think of it as Cup. If you win the Cup, you are basically the best of the best.
So, yeah, essentially they're evening things out across for in the end to be the best of the best amongst essentially four different regions, four different kinds of prizes at the end of the day. And so top 30, top 60, I think it is, aiming all the way down to the top 90 and 120 or something along those lines. So really cool what WTRL has done here for that to give everybody something to race for. But at the same time, we can still find the best of the absolute best. Speaking of that, we're going to jump right down into the men's racing. Mark O'Brien and a Brad are off the front. I'm just going to call this out right off the bat, though. There's an issue right from the get-go here. And I'm not going to pull any punches with this one because it's been called out and for sure a DQ situation if a rider is up to this. And I am seeing the big watts to zero very quickly over and over again. It's a well-known thing. And also,
that's not good. That's not good. But I do know Mark O'Brien, who we are following. He is legit. He has been racing in the Australian Elite Series that I've also been covering. He's got rider of the 5K to go hero a few times, I've got to say, in the last ZRL season. I call him the breakaway master. This is actually something I want to cover when we do our TTT sort of, vodcast / covering the league in a couple of days is, breakaways can happen on Zwift, and this guy can do them week on week on week. He's always breaking away.
Go ahead and jump in with the ladies now, too. Now, the women are out on course and actually at about the same point here. The men have been absolutely flying here, but we're going to jump right down in with the ladies now as we are in with Raven Mad as well as Sophie here from the Caramellos. It looks like making their way up a very broken up field already here, Anna, as I'm looking backwards, and it's already 10 seconds back for Smile On. The Woolies here trying to hang on. It looks like Caramellos, though, pretty well represented.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. They've had a great season. A lot of the teams, including the team that I race for, we're kind of treating this as a bit of a celebration. So it is optional to do these finals races. And I think a lot of teams are like, let's just go have a blast. We're not coming back together for ZRL until I think it's late September. So let's just go have a bit of fun. So I think that's what the teams are doing. Like I said, I popped into Discord with some of the ladies and they're just having a good time out there. As much, having a good time racing hard, basically, is what they're doing. Just a key point here, Titans does have first across line and fastest time segments, but the next hill, the hilly KOM, does not have fastest time, only first across line. So something to keep in mind. And also no power-ups for these finals. So there's a bit of a mix-up. So you need to have recons, watch Cy Bradley's videos, watch Sherpa Dave's videos, know what is going on. As we're seeing, looks like Eve there from TBR Smile On smashing it away. But yeah, a little bit of a mix-up, so you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Eve here off the front. Big kick here from the lady in the green kit and green Tron. Up and over the top, going to take the first across the line. Fastest through. We're seeing Sophie, followed up by D. Blake and then Corinne. Mark O'Brien on the other side of things in the men's race coming up and over the top. Solid kick from him. Behind him, we do see Brian Duffy Jr. from the next esports team coming over the top as well. He's followed up closely by Haggerty, was right on his wheel. I'm not sure Haggerty was able to pull that off, though, to make the catch. Bosted now on the wheels here coming through. There's a little bit of a gap. Ben Hill's going to close that down along with Mashed Potato and Price. So we do have a lead group slowly forming. It's pretty strung out here. I think this may snap the elastic, Anna, eventually, but I'm thinking you're going to get a solid amount of riders coming through though with them.
No, I think this is what you always think on this hill, and I've got to say, I've been dropped before, and then I've managed to get on just in the distance, so you can see like 2 Aquatrons. I think that might be where the split is. There's just one a little bit further off in the distance. We've seen some hitters here. We've got Mashed Potato. He'll win a sprint any day of the week. You've got Mark Bosted, who's really worked on his sprinting prowess. This is the chase pack, just a little bit behind. I think these guys will get on for sure, but man, there's a lot of stragglers coming off the bat. These guys are coming in pretty hot and hard.
Yeah, looking back here, it does look like the main bunch. There is a group that is forming behind here, led out by Dave as well as the Thelem here. Lau Juan from WEZ, maybe trying to make a move back up, but with 4 seconds quickly going out to 5, these are always the most dangerous moments, aren't they, Anna?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on this part of the course, because what happens is if it was a long downhill, say off the likes of an Epic or an Alps Zwift, if you're going to do that, you can get back on this kind of a down. The tricky part of this course is it goes down, and then soon here it's going to flatten a bit and then go up, and then it rolls all the way out. And if you're not on after that downhill, you are gone. Like, you can already see in the mini map in the top right, there's a person just dropping off the back. They're gone. They'll never get back on. Unless the pace completely comes off, which I doubt, because with this course, which I've reconned a few times now, it's pretty exciting, is that pretty soon after the exit Titans, they go through that sort of underwater tunnel, and then you're straight bam into the Watopia KOM, which, takes no prisoners. So, yeah, it's a course that kind of just hits you and hits you and hits you, and then a sprint leading into the S's, and that is a really hard combination to manage. So I'll be interested to see what the teams do, whether they'll sacrifice some riders on the sprint to then enable other riders to take the all-out win.
Now, on the women's side of things, we've got a little bit of a breakaway situation forming, actually. 4 riders off the front, and the gap is 5 seconds back to Raven Mad. And interesting here, Raven Mad, they've only got 2 riders with them, so they're not actually carrying. I was going to say for a moment there, do they have anyone that they're carrying with them? No, they were able to drop off the Caramellos here with Sharpie and Nikki, but that's just 2 riders again working together. I'm loving to see these team tactics here, the way they're working together. They're going to get back on terms. That may change things up for the way that Gnomes and Beretta ride this perhaps a little bit. Force the Caramellos to do a little bit of work as they come through, because Raven Matt do have Blake up here. But, it's a tough one here. Make them waste some energy, wouldn't you, if you have any confidence to take them on neck and neck right to the line? Because essentially you're just carrying 2 Caramellos with you to the front end of this group, and you're going to end up with a 4v3 situation.
Yeah, who's this team Caprioska? I've never seen that team yet. I'm just wondering if they're undercover a Caramello in that front group. So you got the TBR, you got the Raven. I think it's two AHDRLs. So Corinne there, calling herself the Caprioska, I think that's a little shine to the fact that they always have a cocktail on board for that team every week. I can actually tell you what their cocktail of tonight is because I get messaged it every single time before the race. So they're going with a Titans Grove kind of theme for the Teddy Bear Picnic. That's the name of their cocktail. Spiced rum, peach schnapps, triple sec, strawberry liqueur, orange juice, shake with ice, garnish with an orange wheel and some gummy bears. Sounds delish.
That sounds delicious. That sounds absolutely awesome. I love the way that they make this so fun. Obviously, there's a lot of camaraderie that's going on, and serious. They take the thing that you can tell though is they are competitors, and at the same time they're there for just having a blast with some friends. Get that competitive edge out there, and at the same time they're out here having a good time and having some drinks together in their chat. I mean, isn't that what talk about? It couldn't be more like quintessential to the weekend bike race, sort of the get together with the friends and just smash yourself and then go have a good time together.
Oh, exactly. I mean, these teams are awesome. They've been here. I mean, these are the stalwarts of this APAC division. They've been around right from the get-go. Love it every week. They come and bring some good tactics too. Like you said, it's not just about sort of fun behind the scenes. They come to the race with some really good moves. And you can see that here, Corinne leading off the front. Looks like Eve there from TBR is just falling off the pace. She's just dropped off. So she's a green rider who we can't see in picture. She's kind of lost a few wheels there. So I don't know what's going on, if she's burned herself just a little bit. But yeah, these three are kind of moving off. There she is. Just really weird. Just kind of lost touch just a little bit. She does not want to do this because the next group is 11 seconds back, and she kind of could end up in no woman's land between the two groups. And like I said, once they get through this tricky up and down of Titans, then it's a little bit of reprieve, but then you're hitting that Watopia KOM. So not a good time to drop off. This is danger time for her, and she's actually not riding particularly fast. So not sure what
looks like she's fallen off.
Her.
Yeah, it was a moment. There was a moment to get back, but it's done. Now, what is happening here? I thought for sure that these two were going to come back, those Caramellos, and interesting enough, Raven Man, the Caramellos, they let those seconds get away from them, and now there's a large pack that they're with. Perhaps I was incorrect.
Well,
maybe the better call was to go, but now the Raven Mad have the extra rider, perhaps, Anna?
Yeah.
Or,
well, I'm thinking, you look at this group, right? You've got the only two teams who don't have someone up in that chase, in that front pack, is Herd, that sort of green and dark blue kit, and Z-Sun with the sun on the back. So Raven Mad, they're not going to move. They've got Sophie up there. And AHDRL's not going to make a move because they've got two riders up there. So they've really got to rely on the Z-Sun rider who's solo. Why would she work? Because she's going to destroy herself trying to push this whole group up. So then it leaves the Herd rider. So you can see one moving onto the front now. They're the only team who can chase. I mean, this is something you'd see on the real world, is that what is the motivation of this group to chase? Nothing. Like, you've got one rider solo who would have to pull everyone up? I don't think so. So this is really great from that chase group at the front. They've picked the right riders in there. And look at this. I mean, it's out to 13 seconds, 14 seconds. Yeah, tricky times for this group. They're going to have this other rider, Eve, drop back. And she is from TBR Smile On. You can just see her there. I mean, I don't know how motivated she'll be. It looks like she's burnt a few too many matches in the first parts of this race.
Yeah, looks like that's said and done. Now back on over to the men's race. Attacks are on toward the KOM in just a moment. And we can see as they're into Oceans Boulevard, orange numbers popping behind here because on the attack it is going to be our Costa for WEZ. NZ Bread Frodo is there as well on the front. They had about a good 15-20 meter gap before as they come, and they're in the perfect timing. I'm sorry that I missed that actually, because the roll through on the downhill into this section as you enter the Ocean Boulevard before you take that right hand turn we just saw, there's actually this like insanely fast 60 to 70 kilometer per hour depending on how you take it on, in which you then have a little bump at the bottom of that, and then it just rolls right on into this flat, and you can kick it very hard through there, roll through, and create a massive amount of speed where you keep your speeds in the 55, 53 kilometers per hour. And look, they're actually holding on to the gap that they have created. And with those kind of speeds, you almost have to see orange numbers coming from the rest of the pack to get back on terms. Griffin, Perrin, all working insanely hard. And that's to set up the rest of Next Esports here, presented by Insured. They are just trying to keep themselves in this race at this point, I think, or at least get across.
Yeah, I was actually a bit distracted there looking at the bike setups as well. Seeing in the front a couple of disc wheels too, that would be a good indication. You can see it there with Costa, that they are really focused on that sprint and the finish line, which means they will not want to drop off. And they've got to keep the pace high on these flat portions because the Trons will be a bit quicker than those disc brakes going up. Look at who's going off the front again. Mark O'Brien. I kind of want to see how he executes this. He goes up to about 8.8 watts per kg. So he's not sprinting. He's orange numbers. He's not up to sort of 12, but he's enough. He'll be coming up to sort of that hill soon out of this tunnel. He's picked a good time to do this. I just am always shocked at how easily he can tend to get away. This time, though, he may not have his way. We've got Tabalong, who's a very, very strong rider from NZ Bro. He's chasing him down. He'll get on. They'll be protecting their rider, Haggerty, who I hope is still in this group, because Haggerty has been an amazing sprinter this season, probably taking out the majority of the sprints that we've seen. This is going to be a bit of a battle between NZ Bro and the others. I'm not sure if I see Team Aero here, which was the premier team who had dropped into this group. So that means it opens it wide up for these other teams to come through and take it away from that dominant Aero team.
Yeah, as we do see next, in short, they also have been pushed into this group, though, Anna. This is going to be, if I'm not incorrect, they have been pushed into here, or you were not commentating on them through APAC, were you? I'm almost positive.
No, I haven't seen them in APAC, no.
Yeah, and so the reason that is that now because they're putting them together for these regions, they slipped up into a little bit earlier time bracket. And so now suddenly you have a team that is also Premier Division jumping in amongst this and causing a little bit of mayhem. I am seeing Ben Hill here from Aero, so they have showed up
actually,
as well.
Yeah.
So we have some pretty insane level now showing up today.
Yeah, Aero is there. I'm mistaken. I didn't quite see their jerseys. Like, I'm used to sort of seeing the black of NZ Bro and then the Aero team there as well. But we do have a bit of a mix. And we've got the brothers, I think, Ben Hill and Sam Hill. Also, another Aero team in there as well, the Aero Masters, who is really good. Mark O'Brien will be pushing off the front now. They're just about to hit this Watopia KOM. Now, remember, this one does not have fastest time sequence. So it's only first across the line points that matter on this one. So what we're probably going to see is a little bit more tactical racing, because it's not just going to be all guns blazing start to finish. It's going to be all about who can get across the line first. And look how huge this bunch is hitting this first climb.
Yeah, and we saw Cridlin making way to the front for just a moment there. Now it's going to be Muzz from the Aero Masters. Also, Taganon making his way to the front. Now Tabalon as well. We've got a little bit of rhyming across there. And now NZ Bro taking over 525 watts. Muzz coming over to the top. Now this first section here, it's kind of the warm-up to the real moves on the climb sometimes, unless I guess if you're Jason Osborne from the first ever World Championships. But from bottom to top usually doesn't make it happen. It's the second kick, but look at Tablon saying, nah, Nathan, I'm going to try and go bottom to top here and just make this happen. The back off at 4.9. A couple of weeks ago, I attacked with the rest of Oh My God, They Kill Kennedy right at this moment, and we got an extreme gap, actually. And I think that is exactly what Next, presented by Insured, are maybe doing. No, it looks like they're looking to just control things, perhaps, and wait for the final moment to kick. No breakaway, maybe just for the points is what they're thinking about.
I don't think this is a good idea. Look at Ben Hill coming through the pack now. He will easily overtake Tabalong before the line. This might be a problem with not reconning the course or knowing the rules here, that this is not fastest time segment, which Tabalong could have been going for. Ben Hill, though, he will roll him at the line. It's kind of devastating. It's so close to the finish. Costa, he was one in the disc wheel that I talked about earlier. He's coming up pretty quick with 10.4. They may all actually roll Tabalong. No, it looks like he took second there. They didn't quite roll him across the line. And look who came up pretty quick. Haggerty didn't quite time it right, but he is the sprinter to watch out for, especially coming into the finish line. Next up, we've got the JWB Sprint. Now that is fastest time segment and first across the line. Once they cross that, it's only about 2 kilometers to go over the S's till they
This is insane how quick this racing is, Anna. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, talk about, they're going to be, like a 30-minute effort. Just all guns blazing. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, everybody's going to be so done. And with the kind of speeds that they're holding, look at this. We've got splits in less than 20 minutes with some of the top riders in the world right now.
They'll all catch on. They'll catch on this downhill. I don't think they're split, but they're split in a long way that people will still get the draft. So I think this little group here will all come together with the first part. Someone is really pushing pace off the front, though. Who is that? They're drilling it to try and stop this group coming on. They've obviously gone over the top and just have...
Yeah, who do you think it is? Who do you think it is? It's Brian Duffy Jr. and Mark O'Brien. And when these two meet in a race... This is what you get from these kind of fireworks.
This is interesting because I don't think Brian Duffy Jr. would be aware of the kind of breakaway specialist Mark O'Brien is. And if that's the way Brian Duffy races too, this is a great sort of head-on-head battle between those. So I'll be interested to see how that goes to the line. I think if we're looking at someone who's going to have an early breakaway after the sprint over the S's, I mean, it very rarely works, but it could work with those two. So I'm interested to see what happens after the sprint, which is coming up very, very quickly. This race is only 25.4 kilometers. I mean, we've got about just under 6K to go. This is intense. That group has come back together though. Now it's all up to the sprint. Now we do have the fastest time sequence there. And it's very, I tried to time the sprint the other day, Nathan, just to see when to go. It's so long. And it's very tricky to time, especially if people go early.
As these boys are making their way downhill now, we do see a WZ rider there going off the front. The ladies are going uphill, and it is 23 seconds up to the lead, which is Sophie from the Caramellos right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this is playing out, and it's going to be D. Blake from Raven Mad trying to chase that down, but this looks to be a solo breakaway, perhaps. With how split up this is, it's going to be a lot harder to bring this back, isn't it, Anna?
Yeah, Blake will catch up, Raven Mad will catch up. We've got that interesting dynamic in that chase group as well. Look at how far that has gone back. 27 seconds now back to some of them. We've got Beretta from Raven Mad who's kind of in the gap a little bit, but yeah, that chase back had no momentum there, just with the way that the front group was comprised with all the different teams. Blake here has overtaken Sophie right up to around 4.8 watts per kg. Looks like Blake from Raven Mad will take out the first across the line, which is what this one is all about. And Sophie here looking like she's in second. This is looking good here from Blake. She's, those are some high watts for this group. So she's looking very, very strong. I just wonder, what would you do in this situation? She's 9 seconds back, 10 seconds back now to Sophie. What, would you hold this to the line? May as well.
Well, might as well, and then work with your teammate, though. I would definitely, there's no reason at this point, I would think, with the way that this is playing out, to not wait for your teammate, I would think. So,
her teammate's ages behind, though. Her teammate's
Sophie
30
and Corinne.
seconds behind.
Sophie and Corinne, that's what I'm talking about here. 5 seconds to swap between these two.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, it's Caprioska, but that's a Caramello, isn't it?
No, they're the same,
so.
but Blake off the front.
Yeah, Blake, no. I would just go at 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with the kind of power that she is producing, yeah, definitely I would just let her go off the front. And it looks to me like she can take this all the way to the line most likely. On the men's side of things, Mark O'Brien doing what Mark O'Brien does. They already got a 2-second gap, actually, and they're trying to hold on to this through the... Julian Washington Bridge, actually. Do you think they're going to pull this off? I mean, this one looks a little bit more dangerous. And behind, I think that group behind is hurting pretty badly. They're going to start jumping across you. They don't want to let these points go for free.
Yeah, this is a great strategy. These guys are doing well. Of course, it's O'Brien lighting it up. You got Costa there, who I've mentioned a couple of times. They're getting close to the sprint. It depends how much it's going to get open behind, though. It's only 3 seconds back. I'm looking at Haggerty. I'm looking at Costa. I'm looking at Mashed Potato. I don't know I have not seen Mashed Potato at all, and this is his kind of favorite sprint. I think these guys will get caught because the power behind them, look at that pack, it's massive. This is going to be huge. Again, no power-ups though, so it does kind of neutralize the field a little bit. Look at those orange numbers coming through already from Erica, from OTR. Perrin there from next. He's coming through at 11.5 watts per kg. We're starting to see the typical sprinters opening it up, looking amazing here. O'Brien, I think he just doesn't have that extra little kick for the sprint. Costa, though, opening. But look at this coming through from, is this
Haggerty versus Broom? Oh, Haggerty takes out John Broom, one of the best riders we know of. And is that, oh my gosh, when it comes to a sprint, I mean, this guy won his entry to world championships with sprints like that, John Broom. And he just got taken out by Haggerty. I've not seen these two teams go head to head. And that was amazing. Muzz are now in the attack, 16, and he went over the top here through the sprint and is looking to try and hang on to this all the way to the line. Move coming from Aero Masters.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. I thought someone might roll over the top. I mean, this Aero Masters crew isn't the premier aero team, so this might be just a little bit more than Muzz could handle. He's down to 4 watts a kg. I don't think that's enough to really create a big split, but I got Rush here coming through from OTR, presented by Badass, I think it is. Wow, great name. Not familiar with this rider, but he is rolling through. He's sticking at around 5.5, 5.7. He's probably going to have to get it up a little bit higher, more around 6 through these S's to keep away that group behind. I am absolutely so proud of Haggerty. He did so well on that sprint. He is playing with the big boys. He's been dominating the sprints in the APAC division. Great to see him take it out with some of these different teams all mixed in tonight.
Muzz now. With the way that they sprinted there, Anna, I'm getting the feeling that this is going to, well, they're going to be struggling behind a little bit, but with only 2 seconds, no, it's going to get shut right on down. It's so difficult through the Essies here, and these riders are so incredibly motivated. Now, my question is, where does next presented by Short here sit? Because they are so used to being dominant forces amongst this kind of a crew. But from what I can see out here, I'm not sure that they have held on to their usual dominant position that they usually have. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up real quickly right before we get into the finish here, as the attacks have settled right on down. Currently, Arrow, NZ Bro, then next. That's where things are at, 57, 51, and 43 as we come into the finish line right now.
This is, that's actually quite interesting from Arrow, because I hadn't really seen them out the front too much. I guess they had Sam Hill who took out that Zwift KOM, but yeah, that's they're ahead, and I kind of didn't expect that. They're not coming through. This isn't right through to the finish line now, is it?
I believe it is. I think this is it, isn't it? This is where they finish.
Yeah, I do want to double check, because I know Martin has messaged to say that the distance is 26.147 meters. So we could see something a bit interesting here with a finish line
a little bit past,
isn't
maybe?
Where we think it is. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see here. 14.1, killing it right now. Are they going to sprint for the line and then have to continue on? If they do, there's probably going to be a little bit of upset in the peloton here, and it looks like it. They're going to continue on for a moment because we have not left the event. And some of them are like, what's going on? Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, there's anger inside for sure. Over the top, Muzz tries to continue on. Question marks everywhere. Oh, man. And we do see Costa continuing on out to 26. I'll see if I can actually message them out to them and see if I can't. Out to 20. There we go. I let them know. I hope I wonder if they're going to see a virtual banner in game.
They've got to look for a blue banner, which should be at 26.147 meters. So 26K, 26.1K. Let's hope we see it, eh?
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. Here to help. Oh man. Well, at least I could let them know, right? At least you should have let them know before the sprint. Now that was just I didn't know. I didn't know if what was good. Well, then I tell them that, and then it's actually at the line, and it's like, well,
true.
then it'd really be horrible. But now, okay, there we go. They can probably see it now, but I'm just gonna put it in game one more time. They definitely see it now, and here we go. Wow, a second sprint. I mean, there's nothing like throwing them all for a little bit of a loop here. Duffy Jr. over the top now. Haggerty goes again. This is really the test of fitness here, isn't it? Right to the line, and it's going to be Haggerty, I think, pulling that one off.
Woo! It was either Haggerty or Yamazaki. That would
one of the
be
two.
a very tight one. Wow. Interesting. Like, you got to say, racing, you got to be prepared for anything. You just have to be prepared for things potentially going wrong. That could throw a big head amongst the pigeons. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the weekend, because they could see some teams racing a little angry, wanting to get some of those sprint points back.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I could have done without the fake finish, Tim Rush. Well, I think productions here as well is could have done without it as well. I think we're also in the similar boat, I feel. All right, on over to the ladies' race as they're finishing up. We'll take a look at their points here in just a second, as it is going to be Blake here, still off the front, but she is being brought back slowly here, but not by a large pack. Here it is. Woman versus woman at this point, right, Anna? So I do think that it's still not a bad move to try and get away. Sophie and Corinna could work together still to try and bring her back, but I think Blake just kind of has that little bit of extra girth to stay away right now.
Yeah, now this is the B category, correct? B category woman?
Look through here for you, Anna, and
because the reason, while you're looking, the reason I say that is I find solo breakaways in categories that
we're
aren't
actually in the C. We're
really
actually in with the C category.
C.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So what I find
apologies
interesting when
on
it's
that.
not the A cat, a breakaway is very interesting because they can't exceed category limits unless they want to go up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you see this really interesting dynamic where they'll put in like a big number, like we've had Blake here, and this is totally within the rules. I'm not throwing shade or anything. You have to put in the break with huge watts on a crucial point, like that bit of the climb that Blake did. And then it's a matter of keeping the gap manageable to the group behind, which she's doing. But it's so different, the dynamic, to an A category where you would be getting absolutely chased down and they're going the highest power that they can absolutely possibly go. So it's a really interesting dynamic here to see what's happening here with Blake and Corinne chasing behind. But Corinne and Sophie, they're riding in together. They're pals from the same team, so they're probably having a good old time out there. Blake, though, hats off to you. Amazing time to attack, and phenomenal. Looking here at the double.
The ladies. Yeah, ladies.
Do you want to message the
I'm
ladies
letting them.
and tell them
I'm
about
trying.
this?
Oh, I can't actually. I'm not in. I jumped over. I'm not actually in that one, so I can't give them the information they need. I can tell them in the other one though. So we'll let them know. We'll let them know over there. And because that was definitely a little bit interesting for the men. So now in with the ladies, this is going to be the B category that is making their way to their 26K marker, as it's going to be Fletcher here with AHDRL. They as currently on the point situation. Big shout out to Martin. I know he was working really hard to put these new points boards together, and I think they look phenomenal, honestly. Now that we do have the totals and then what they get across the finish as well added in there.
Nice. Yeah.
We've got T-Rex and some dinosaurs in the background. Here for this this section of the course, the great representation of what they're racing on out here today. So I really appreciate all the work that Martin's been doing. But here we go. About to take off to the virtual line. It looks like it is going to be HDRL versus the Raven Bees and TBR. That's the setup right now. It is a 2v2v2 here, Anna. Pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, and I'm just seeing Gina Van Rossum, one of my favorites. She will take this out. Actually, Lucy's got a pretty good sprint on her too. I don't think it's as good as Gina Van Rossum's. She is phenomenal. What a great athlete. We have a bit of a chit chat every now and then after the races. So great to see her coming out. She had a great race last week up Innsbruck, and obviously a really good sprint as well. So good to see her here. Looks like we're seeing all the races chilling out at the finish line here. Maybe they're having a celebratory bevy or two as they wait for their friends to finish. I always love this. Everyone just sitting there, just stopped, like not even bothering to kind of warm down, just like I'm done.
Yeah, imagine people who aren't familiar with the Zwift Racing League either. And they're just like, why are all... And then with the changed finish line, too, like you're used to seeing it in other places, but all of a sudden there's just all these people on the bridge here, like as if there's some sort of weird meetup going on or something on the bridge.
A meetup that doesn't move, just come hang at the bridge. We're just going to stand. We're just going to
I
sit
kind
here.
of like that idea. We should like do something like that.
So do you know I got asked like the one, I don't know what it was, maybe an article or something, the one thing I'd want to see added to Zwift. And I said a virtual cafe or bar at the end. And I think we're almost there with everyone just huddling around.